Hello guys, this is Shar. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Now, this video is about your girl Bambi. For those who are interested in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and all the characters surrounding that reality show, we know Bambi is a fixture, Lil Scrappy, Mama D, Kirk Frost, Rishada, and the list goes on and on. They have a slew of new characters on the show. I'm hearing, I haven't actually watched the show in about 3 years now, maybe 4. It just became too, I hate to say the G word, but yeah, the G word is too ghetto for me, for my taste. But I mean, the women, a lot of them, they were fixed up so much to the point where they just looked like they were characters in a movie playing like a ghetto hip hop girl or something. You know, that's just how much, I mean, with the nails and the wigs, it was just, okay, too much. So, on top of being ghetto, it was just too much for me. But we have since found out or learned that Bambi and Lil Scrappy got into a relationship, actually got married and had some kids. I was a bit shocked to hear that they were married and had, 2-3 kids, because I consider Bambi, like an opportunist, like it or love it, whatever. She was an opportunist. She started off on some reality shows back west, because I believe she's originally from LA, Los Angeles somewhere. And she was on Basketball Wives. How did she finagle her way onto Basketball Wives? I would never know, because she was never a basketball wife. I don't even think she was a basketball side chick. I think she was more like a basketball jump off or something. Like she had a one night stand or something with a basketball player, I guess. But it didn't lead to anything. So again, I'm not even sure how or why. What's her name that produces the show? Shawnee O'Neal at the time even got her on the show. And she never fit in. She never looked the part. She never looked as though she was living the life of a basketball wife at all. Not even a little bit. So, she looked homely and just never looked like she fit in. And then a few years later, she reproduced on to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So she started off just being like a friend of, I'm not sure of who she was a friend of, just walking onto the scene. You've seen her at events or parties or gatherings here and there, until she ended up being a main fixture on the show. Early on, she was messing around with whoever she could kind of get all 42 teeth into, because she got a good set of choppers on the top and the bottom. And she does very much favor a deer, like a little baby deer. I'm thinking that's where the name Bambi came from. And this is not a diss. I'm just saying it is what it is. So she was first came on the scene just trying to see, in my opinion, who she could get her teeth into, who she could latch on to as far as the men. And yeah, it did seem like she was trying to get with Kirk, which is Rashada's husband. And if you watch the show currently, she and Rishada are quite close. Like, Rishada talks to her, spends time with her, goes out to eat and dinner with her, vacation with her, or whatever. And it's like, girl, do you even know that this girl really had her, mindset to kind of get with your husband? Like, have you watched the show back and seen some of those episodes? The infamous hot tub episode where Bambi, some guy named Benzino, I think he's like an old school rapper or whatever, I don't know. and Kirk, which is Rashida's husband, and another lady, it may even been two other ladies, was all in a hot tub and, basically trying to, get it on for that night, orgy style. But, even though Bambi was like posted up next to Benzino, she looked quite interested in being all up under Kirk. This is when Kirk and Rishada was really going through a rough patch in their marriage. A lot of people say it was for the show, but I don't think so. I mean, and if it was, shame on him. He went all the way with a young lady and actually had a child outside the marriage. Now, I don't think that was for the show. And if so, I mean, that's a bit much. What wife would want that, right? So, I mean, to me, that's proof that this was a real infidelity that this man had, and it played out on the show. So, yeah, they were really going through a rough patch, and Rishada was just out there. Not Rishada, but Kirk was just out there, and the girl ended up pregnant, and she was trying to, say she wanted this and that, and she wanted a substantial amount of child support because, Kirk and Rishada was of a certain tax bracket or whatever, and Kirk was I was going to say Kirk was the breadwinner, but actually I think it was Rishada that was the breadwinner because Rishada ended up being on the reality show. Prior to that, she had a short stint in rap, like a rap career. I don't think it did very well, but she later on ended up being on Love and Hip Hop, which that was bringing in a check. And then I guess they had other businesses outside of that. But I remember when I did watch the show, Rishada would beg and beg and beg and beg and beg and beg and beg to have a store. She wanted a clothing store. She wanted a boutique. For some reason, this man would not allow her to have a store. Like, what is the big deal? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know it's an investment. And if the store doesn't do well, obviously you've lost money. But she's on a reality show. Rishada is, she's a pretty lady. And she has a fan base because she's been a part of this Love and Hip Hop thing for years. So, I don't know. I never thought that the business venture for her to do a store, open up a store, a boutique, I never thought it wouldn't do well. But, I don't know. Obviously, Kirk didn't believe in it. And he would never... open up a store for her. And when this baby mama, the girl who had the baby by Kirk, when she started demanding things and wanting a significant amount of money for child support and this and that, he had to turn over all the assets. In so many words, he had to put everything in Rishada's name, which it should have been like that anyway. Both of their names should have been on things, but I guess it wasn't. But I guess when he put everything in Rishada's name, and who knows, maybe other family members, maybe some of his kids, just so he could go back to family court and say, hey, I can only pay this or that. I don't really have any assets, this, that, and the other. And when they checked into it, it's like, oh, well, he don't have anything in his name or whatever. You know what I mean? But, so when Rishada pretty much got in the driver's seat, as far as the finances, she went ahead and opened up that store. And she has a successful, thriving boutique in Atlanta. I think it's in that main mall out there in Atlanta. I forgot the name of the mall, but, And then she opened up a second store in Houston. And that one is doing well. So, it's like she could never follow through with, a business venture that she wanted to do, all because her husband didn't believe in it and didn't believe it was going to thrive. And it thrived so much to the point where she was able to open up a second store. And both of them are still open and doing well. So I'm saying that all to say that, yeah, they were doing bad for a minute. People who've been married that long, they go through rough patches. And, despite of, they were able to get back on track and, still married today. But in that little time period, it was obvious, it was clear that Kirk was out there. And Kirk was trying to get his teeth on something because, he felt like he was missing something, or, the grass was greener on the other side. And all these women who are thirsty, like a Bambi, they knew that, they saw that, and they was trying to get on Kirk. Maybe so they could be a baby mama, or maybe just pull him all away from Rishada altogether. You know what I mean? So despite the fact that, again, Bambi was over there in the hot tub with Benzino, she wasn't paying no attention to Benzino. She wasn't allowing Benzino to touch her or anything. She was looking at Kirk and wanted to, really get busy, in my opinion, with Kirk, along with the other ladies that was in there. They were all over Kirk because Kirk was the one who had the money in hot tub. Now we are going to hear a little clip from Benzino that I have. I'm sure it has gone viral. It's not like new and hot off the press, but I found it interesting when I came across it recently that he's spilling the beans out of his own mouth. Like, this man is not a part of the show anymore. Got problems mentally. Got problems with his daughter, which is that rapper Corey LeRae. Got problems with his other kid's mom. I don't think he has no reason to lie about this. Plus, we seen it. It was on the show, right? So let's take a listen to Benzino and what he had to say about your girl, Bambi.
Invite her over to the crib. She would bring all her friends and her family with her. I used to cook for them. Just be a real gentleman. She spent the night a couple of times, maybe got to first base, but never really tried to pursue, to get to third base, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what that
I understand.
You know about
The
baseball,
bases,
right?
bases,
The
yeah.
bases,
I got it.
Right. So the whole time, Bambi,
my cold drinker.
Bambi had his friend named Mary Jane. So up until the cabin, I didn't get the box, right? I'm thinking at the cabin, it's getting ready to go down, right? Right. So we invited Bobby V up there. He was gonna bring some girls. Kirk was gonna be there. The night before, this is true, all right? The night before, we was all there. It was me, Bambi, and Bambi had a girlfriend, Mary Jane. Now, Mary Jane's like a wild card back then. No disrespect to Mary Jane, but she just like a wild card. Mm-hmm. So we was in the studio. It was in the studio downstairs in the basement, and they was plotting the whole thing about the hot tub. That she was like, so Mary Jane was gonna smash Kirk. No. Yes, I'm telling no lie. I have no reason to lie.
Rashida, you need to be careful who you let your circle that wanted your man that night.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Kirk was very respectful, but they wanted your man.
So now.
So now befriending all of them going against Scrappy.
So that was the plan. That was the plan for Kirk to smash Mary Jane that night. Ooh. Right? So
yes. So give me the tea. Give me the tea.
I give you some more tea? Yeah. So Kirk at this time was going through situations with Rishada, and I'm like, from my understanding, Rishada gave her a pass. And I was like, that's some dope shit. Like, me and Kirk had, conversations, and I was like, yo, my nigga, Kirk was like my hero at that point because I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a pass to go up to the cabin and wild out. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, this is dope, Kirk. I was like, But then I'm thinking like, well, the cameras are gonna be there.
But women do that to test their men though. We will do that. Like, I'm gonna see what you'll do if I loose this leech stuff on you. And men don't fall for that because we're really setting your asses up.
Right.
We're setting that ass up to see, do you really have us here?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Kirk like said all that. I'm just like, yo, he really got, like, that's some real love, right? I was impressed, and I was like, okay, this is dope. We went up there. Bobby brought some girls. Then we got in the hot tub, right? I'm thinking that it's going down. At the whole time I'm thinking it's going down. We getting drunk as hell. So we get in the tub, we start kissing or whatever. But then Kirk's starting to like feel like getting the feeling. I'm like, this is really going down in front of the cameras. I couldn't believe this shit. I really couldn't believe this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, ass kissing, everything was just going crazy, like, right? And there's like 5 cameras in every angle. When it was time to go to the bedroom, you want to hear this?
Yeah, I want to hear it. How much y'all want to hear? Y'all want to hear it? I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Come on, I want to hear.
We was all go to the bedroom. I'm like, hell yes, finally. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like a bunch of dating, a bunch of cooking and playing games and shit. I'm like, it was weeks of this shit. I'm like, finally. Then I get up there, right? She's like, nah, it's not going. She said, I can't do it, Zena. I'm like, huh? I'm like, she said, nah. And I was like, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no is no. No is no is no.
Yeah, with a woman,
You know what I'm saying? I respect it. I didn't have no problems with it. All I remember is that the production was like, listen, we need y'all to walk in Kirk's room. You want to know what happened? When Bambi walked in the room, Bambi screamed and ran out. She screamed like, ah, and ran out. Like, I'm looking at her like, damn, what the fuck is the matter with her? Like, and then I'm looking, they all on the bed. It's crazy. I'm sitting there, right? One of the photographers looking like mad weird as shit. He just got the thing by the bed like this, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, shh. I'm like, what you mean, shh? And I'm just looking there, I'm just like stuck, and I couldn't believe it.
What did you see?
I can't tell you.
Oh, come on.
So I don't want him to say that.
Yeah. So, but is that the tea that you came to drop this evening?
I mean, that was some pretty good tea,
That was
right?
a pretty good tea.
Yeah.
But we heard that there was some like Hennessy that she was finna drop on us. Not some.
All right, I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going. Wait. So we're gonna hold that to probably like 9:45.
Okay,
Because we don't want to end it too.
Yeah, because it gets juicier.
It gets juicier. So we're gonna go back to our game, Monica or Hillary.
Okay.
The next name is Amy